podcast. 22-minute podcast. Don't want to take up much of your time. Just gonna read some headlines. Stuff.
Welcome to the 22-minute podcast. My name is Wes Sievertson. Today is January 15th, 2025, and I am again here solo. So, if you don't like the episodes without Mike, I totally understand. If you even listen to this, I think like the one person who consistently listens to this probably would prefer if Mike was here. We'll just keep it as simple as that. But yeah, I missed yesterday. Man, yeah. Yesterday was one of those days where every single second that I was awake, I was either getting ready, driving to, work or from work, or working. Like the whole time I was awake yesterday. And I worked at least 12 plus hours. I don't really know exactly how much. I do my own, or I enter my own hours. I'm sure that's pretty common, but online, and it just caps it at 12. Not really, but just like the clock caps it at 12. It's weird, but don't worry. I've added it up before. I get paid for all of my time. Anywho, so it was more than 12, and I just didn't have time. 12 hours of work, so I just didn't have time to. I really didn't have time to sit and record a podcast. That's why it's nice to pre-record them, because you can just hammer out 5 22-minute recordings pretty quick. So, but I kind of took a break on Saturday, Sunday, whatever. Excuse me. Anyway, all right. Well, on this day, let's start with some todays and histories. All right. I mean, I kind of saw a few already that I thought, I guess I'd share. On this day in 1535, King Henry VIII declares himself head of the church in England. So that's interesting. I don't know if I think it's probably pretty common knowledge now. It's not like it's never not been common knowledge, but common knowledge feels different now than it did before everyone had the internet in their pocket. So I guess that's what I'm kind of referencing, is it was something interesting to learn, and I'm just not sure how many people learned it earlier in their life or whatever, because I definitely heard about King Henry VIII's big deal separating kind of the state of England from the Vatican and from Catholicism, and favoring the Church of England, and declared himself the head of it, even because he wanted to divorce his wife because she wasn't giving him any male heirs, and he was all worried and stuff. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. I think I had to do some sort of small report on that in like the 9th grade or something. So anyway, welcome to the knowledge that we share. Now we share this knowledge together. All right. On this day in 1559, Queen Elizabeth I is crowned Queen of England. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they did that on... No, they wouldn't have done that on purpose. So that's probably ironic. They were like, hey, weird, like a couple decades ago, the king did something weird on this day. Why don't we just go ahead and make me the queen of England and Ireland? We're just going to overtake this day, and everybody will forget about that whole Church of England thing. Anyway. So yeah, I don't know. How about some more recent things that happened on this day? Not that much more recent, but I do want to mention it here. On this day in 1846, Russian writer Floyd Dostoevsky, what? Fyodor? I thought it was Floyd. Did I make that up? Floyd? I have no idea. Now my mind is blown. Fyodor? Do people just call it Dostoevsky and I made up Floyd? Dang it, I wish Mike was here. He probably wouldn't know either. We're both idiots. Anyway, his first novel, Poor Folk, is published in St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg Collection Almanac. I kind of want to read that. I've heard he's good. I don't know. I like reading, so yeah, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, all right. moving on. Let's get into the 1900s. How about that? Oh, wait, what is this? 1970 or 1870. Yeah, 1870. Okay, the 1870 donkey. A donkey is first used as a symbol for the Democratic Party. And yeah, I don't remember what was the story behind that. Right? It was like, all right, you want to call us asses or something? We'll embrace it. I don't know. Who knows? History? It's just lost. It's lost to history. Or maybe it's found in Google. Just give it a Google. I'm not going to do it. That's for sure. Anyway, yeah, let's get to the 1900s at least. Anything interesting on this day in the 1900s? I mean, I don't know, more distinctly interesting. All these things got to interest somebody. It's a lot of sports. Like Babe Ruth did something. Oh, he gets a pay cut or something. I don't know. Who cares? Babe Ruth. On this day in 1934, Dillinger, that's John, survives bank robbery. He was wearing a bulletproof vest. Whoa. It was in East Chicago, Indianapolis. Interesting. Okay. Well, he was shot several times. Yeah. Well, that's a pretty damn good, well, I guess maybe, no, I mean, guns had to be pretty damn powerful back then, too. So it's, not even 100 years ago. So that's a pretty good bulletproof vest. It actually sounds better than, because aren't a lot of, I don't know. Again, I'm not going to look this up, but aren't a lot of bulletproof vests kind of like a one and done kind of thing? That's the way that the fabric works is, once it's shot, once the vest is shot, that fabric has collected or something. You know what? I could be making all this up. Maybe I heard this in a dream. Email me. Let me know. 22menpodcast@gmail.com. Yeah. Anywho. All right. Couple more on this day, I suppose. It's also boring. Oh, Manhattan Project something or another. Yeah, whatever. Oh, hey, on this day in 1947. I shouldn't be so excited. I apologize. On this day in 1947, the brutalized corpse of Elizabeth Short, the Black Dahlia, found in Limerick Park. I think that's how you say that. Los Angeles, California. Yeah, I've been listening to a podcast on that. I feel like I've just heard the story a lot. So, yeah, because for some reason in the 2000s it became a popular thing. Was it the band that kind of made a bunch of preteens in the 90s and 2000s like Google it? Wait, we couldn't Google it. Oh God. I don't remember, but I just remember that we heard about it a lot. Maybe it's because there was like 3 movies in the 2000s about it. Anyway, whatever. Rest in peace. But no, you know what? It's probably just because she just looks like, oh, she has black hair and she's like a goth icon or something. Is she? Is she still? Anyway, all right. What do we got? No, that's not interesting. I'm sorry, guys. I'm thinking about moving on to birthdays, because I'm just not sure. Oh, how about this? On this day in 1971, George Harrison releases his first solo single, My Sweet Lord, which, the sentiment's pretty, I was going to use a word I don't think we're allowed to anymore. No, it's pretty gay. But the song's good, even if he's, oh, Jesus, oh, Jesus. That's my impression of that song. Oh, Jesus, I'm a sweet Jesus. Okay. Do. That's the bass line to that song. No. Okay. I'm really thinking I'm moving on here. What is this? Oh, cool. You know what? On this day in 1974, Happy Days, created by Gary Marshall. Oh, I didn't realize he created. You know what? All this time, all these handful of times that I've talked about Gary Marshall and Penny Marshall, and me and Mike have, I've tried to explain that the only reason you should know who Gary and Penny Marshall are is because they looked by the end of their lives, they just looked shockingly similar. They are brother and sister, but or they were brother and sister. They are in the afterlife, I suppose. Anyway, Jesus. Yeah. Anywho, I didn't realize Gary Marshall created Happy Days. That's pretty big. That's pretty big for the time. So yeah, on this day in 1974, Henry Winkler, Ron Howard, starred in the premiere of Happy Days. It ran for 11 seasons over ABC. That's definitely one that I caught a lot of reruns of. So, I don't know. That and like Good Times. That kind of stuff. All right. Let's see. What else we got? What else happened on this day that might be of some sort of prominent note? Feeling the move to birthdays, That's what I'm feeling. Just make sure I don't want to miss anything here, No. We're moving to birthdays. We're doing it. All right, so who's having a birthday today? Sorry, I'm just switching over the apps. This is why it's good to have a co-host, man, is because they can fill in, they can vamp. All right, turning 41 today. Oh, that's right. Natasha Demetrio, best known as Naja on What We Do in the Shadows. That show's coming to an end. I wonder what she'll pursue from this point on. I mean, I'm sure that show honestly set her up for life if she wants, but that's just also a good position to take other roles from, is whenever you're comfortable. You had your hit, and now you you don't feel desperate. I mean, I hope she's doing well enough to not feel the kind of gig to gig acting thing anymore. But I kind of have a crush on her. No, what was I can't remember his name right now. What he was in, wasn't he in Blood Diamond? I can't remember his name. Maybe I should just look him up. But there was an article that came out recently where what is his name? But a 2-time nominated Digimon Hansuo? I don't know how to say his name. I apologize. I think where's he from? Cool name, I'm sure if I said it right. Digimon Hansuo? But no, he's Blood Diamond, Guardians of the Galaxy, Amistad, he's been in Hollywood in very prominent movies and for over 30 years, nominated for I think at least 2 Academy Awards. And he kind of I don't know how much I believe him. I suppose it probably is I don't know. I feel like if people get moderately famous now, they kind of probably understand leveraging that to make more money off of it. And he perhaps comes from an era that just didn't do that as much, and also probably has maybe a little more of a dated expectation of what an actor's lifestyle would be. He's a famous actor for sure. If you saw him on the street, you'd be pretty blown away. Or at least I would. And all that. So he has the prominence and everything, but I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't have the level of lifestyle that he expects, or he can't maintain that lifestyle simply as his career kind of goes. He didn't manage his money appropriately, and just kind of thought all that would continue to come in. And so anyway, whatever. The article was just him about still kind of being a paycheck to paycheck kind of actor. So I don't know. I don't know how easily you do get set up. I was more, I guess we were talking about Natasha. I don't know. Demetrio, turning 41. But I think those kinds of shows, if you can get that kind of thing, I'm sure you can look up how much she was getting paid per episode on the final season. And I'm sure that was great. And then however much she's going to get, I guess, streaming. I don't actually know how all that works. I know one big deal. This is obviously different, but the reason that the South Park guys are so wealthy is because they maintained their streaming rights with Comedy Central before, and that's probably why Comedy Central is suffering so much. Because I don't know that I haven't heard the story of Matt or Trey, were oh my gosh, whenever we were in the whenever we were in the negotiating room, we took them. They didn't realize what they were giving us, or if the true story is somebody was oh yeah, you should keep that because you never know, and they were cool. The lawyer or whatever told us to keep this because they're not asking for it, and if we can get it, we should take it. And then it turned out to be very beneficial for them, and that's why they're so wealthy, is because and that's also why they can kind of jump back and forth from I mean, yeah, like you have to go to what, Paramount or Peacock, and you have to go to Max if you want to watch all of South Park, like all of the more recent stuff, and then also the older seasons. Anywho, all right, let's get a couple more birthdays. We got about 6.5 minutes left. Whatever. Let's see. Excuse me. Gosh, it's been a long day already. Are you driving home? No, it's probably too late for that. I had to work day myself. Got off a little early, so that was nice. But all right, turning 54, Regina King, great actress, fantastic. She was in? Yeah, she was in the latest Watchmen. That was really cool. But of course, she was in Ray back in the day. But I think played his mom, right? Is that right? Or like his? No, maybe that's not right. But I haven't seen that movie in a long time. But no, she's just been in so much. It'd probably be. Oh, she was in The Big Bang Theory, so that's something. Okay. Oh, you know what? Yeah, she was in the Boondocks. Like, I thought that was crazy. But that might be a good example of, like, especially because the Boondocks came out when I was like 16 or 14 or something. And the fact that Regina King was in it kind of blew my mind. Like, whoa, like this is a very prominent actress, like voicing this Adult Swim show, which didn't really add up. But as I'm like older, it's like, no, she wasn't as established as I think I thought, or at least like, going for that lifestyle. She's really trying to spread her wings and get her hands in all different kinds of pots. So it was probably a fantastic move for her to be a part of that. I mean, it got her more into it exposed her more to an audience that I don't think she would have innately had unless you just like love going to movies. I mean, that's who's gonna know who Regina King was in 2004, and that's what I realize now is just because I knew who she was doesn't mean that everyone else did. Anyway, whatever. All right, Lloyd Bridges. That's the father of Jeff Bridges and Beau Bridges. Is there another Bridges, or is it just the two? Anyway, the two brothers. He was born on this day in 1913, passed away in 1998. If you haven't seen, it might be his last movie. Now that I think about it, if you haven't seen the movie Mafia! It's ridiculous. It was his second to last. Well, yeah, I don't know. It looks like there was some movie released posthumously called Meeting Daddy. Yeah, it looks pretty bad. It actually had Beau Bridges in it. It had Eddie McClurd in it. She's been in a bunch of stuff. You're Fact from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It doesn't look like it was a big movie. But anyway, Mafia! I don't necessarily want to just flat out blindly endorse it, because I say blindly because I haven't seen it in 20 years. So I really don't want to. I might rewatch it and realize there's some problematic stuff that I wouldn't be comfortable with now that child me did not understand. Anywho, but if you haven't seen it, watch it. Whatever, watch it and you tell me. You tell me if I shouldn't be promoting it. So yeah, Lloyd Bridges, born on this day, now dead. Turning 47. Eddie Cahill. It's actually crazy that he is so high up on this list, but that just honestly shows you how prominent streaming Friends still is and has been since it started streaming on like Netflix. And I think that was the first place it streamed. I think I'm remembering that right, but that's kind of a random note in the back of my head. Anyway, Eddie Cahill turning 47. He was like a boyfriend of Rachel in Friends. I don't remember what his name was, but I definitely remember that was like kind of in a middle or later season, so I was just able to pay more attention and understand what was going on because I wasn't a child, like a full-on little boy whenever the show actually started. So he just stuck out, I think, because those were the episodes that were happening when I was like 10, 11, and I was just so annoyed by him. I don't think I understood that I was annoyed by him at the time. But yes, I was very I don't think he's a very likable character, but that may just be me, and I'm not a lady. I mean, apparently, he was cast with the with the feeling that he was attractive enough to be with Jennifer Aniston. So anyway, all right, turning 74. Charo, y'all know about Charo? Hey, y'all know about Charo? You know, Charo's one of those where, like, I mean, she's been around forever, definitely before the time that I had any sort of cultural consciousness. But you know, I think stuff like Charo was referenced, like the Animaniacs, right? The Animaniacs, Steven Spielberg, animated kid show from the 90s, right? Everyone knows Animaniacs because it's still pretty popular. I think it's kind of like a cult classic thing, so people still find it today. But anyway, there's just so many references to stuff like Charo from what, the 50s? When is she from? The 60s? I think it's the 50s. Anyway, well, no, she was born in the 50s. So when was Charo? Anywho, the Animaniacs introduced me to a lot of stuff that I don't think I would have had any sort of awareness of. And blah, blah, blah. I forgot what I was saying, to be honest with you, because I'm just realizing there's no more interesting birthdays. None. And we still have about just over 30 seconds left. So, whatever. So I'll probably do an episode tomorrow. I have a shorter gig. And so I think I'll actually try to get it out around the same time. So, but yeah, I don't know. This is a weird week. It really just feels so much better with a co-host. You know, maybe I'll ask a friend, like, just, hey, call in on Zoom, or, you know, just call me, actually, because I can just run my phone into the board, and I don't know. We'll see if that works. That could be kind of fun, just to have a random friend and see how they even react to all this.